Really want to see that exponential curve? I mean, it's probably like when you have the map of the universe with like the size of the planets. Like, planets, suns, what is it, celestial bodies, size comparison. It's like when you have this video, right? It's like amount of... It's like the amount of experience to get to level 1. The amount of experience... amount of experience needed to get to level 5. The amount of experience needed to get to level 10. The amount of experience to get to level 20. The amount of experience to get to level 50. The amount of experience to get to level 100. The amount of experience to get to level 150. The amount of experience to get to level 200. The amount of 210, 220, 230, 240, 250, 260, 270, 280, 290, 300, 310, 320, 330, 340, level 345. There it is, level 345. We made it. Well, with that in mind, let's look at the let's pause this, get some Maple Ost going. Beautiful. And let's actually make it audible too. Damn, there we go. Bam. What do we have? Let's look at our stuff first. So we have a minor patch right now. Gonna take about 5 hours. I think we're currently 2 hours in, so 3 more hours. Yeah. Yep. Server upkeep update. Yeah. Fix an issue with critical effect of damaged skin. A Tiger Strike may end early while other players are on the map. Weird. Fix an issue where Julieta disappeared during phase 5 Frozen Real. Maybe fix that whole boss fight that DCs you about 80% of the time. But maybe that's coming in a future patch, you know, here's to hoping. Angelic Buster skill Trinity may cause high latency when used repeatedly. The Angelic Buster skill Trinity causes high latency? Huh. That's... okay. So that's not the fix where the Trinity attack progression is based on latency because of the refresh? This seems like something else. You can actually fuck up your game by using Trinity? Okay, interesting. The first Ursa's Golden Time may not indicate that the player received double mezzos. Weird. Revolve mechanic did not activate after stacks were depleted. Okay, that's a blaster fix. Micro Yeti pet, name tags. Fix an issue where adding an item tag to Frenzy Totem crashes the client. Okay. Fix an incorrect date in the event list for the Awake Coin shop, Bamboo Shoot shop, Mezzo shop, and Decoration shop. In the event list, do they mean in the list during the game? Or in the actual... yeah, just in the event list, right? Not in the patch notes? Is it January 31st should be the last day? Let's... they didn't update this, did they? They did. Until the 26th. They did change it. For the Mezzo shop? Oh, so we're not keeping it another week afterwards. Okay, that's... until the end of the 26th. So on the 27th, it's gone. Okay, so that's good that we're double checking that. Okay. Gotta make sure to change that in the event notes. Everything is just... as soon as the 26th is over, everything is over. Okay. So let me readjust that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, so it's just until the end of the 26th. Okay, so this one will get fused with that one, become gray. These will get... okay, there we go. That's all the shops. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. All right, that's why we do these things. Need to do at least a few totems after 5, 10, 15. Yeah, well, yeah. So keep this in mind. You're not gonna have like another week to just like chill around and decide what you want to spend your money, your coins on. You're gonna be able to. You're gonna have to spend those before that. Okay. Okay. Fix the text issue with the Maple Guide for Sellers. Fix an issue where Maplestory Fest gift box 1 only gave 1 red familiar card. Unheard of. Fix an issue where the Kana's basic attacks in Legion Arena did not function properly. What about my Marksman? It's still broken. Fix an issue where normal Ramuru's exit portal was not working properly. Oh, someone said that they were stuck there earlier this week, so that's probably what that was. Fix an issue where etc. and setup tabs were switched in the cash up. That could be confusing. Added a quest for players to claim an additional reward for those who began the Maple Must Decorate the Tree on December 27th, 2020 and could not complete the quest. That's it, okay. Wow, I didn't expect a fix for anything Legion Arena related, but I guess Kana was underperforming by so much that they had to do something. Damn, there go my easy W's, man. Will they dominate it? I doubt that they will suddenly dominate it, but hopefully they won't lose to completely unfunded level 210 Loomies and Phantoms anymore. Okay, so that's one thing. Then NPC Frederick removal. The free market was disabled in order to better support the auction house system. In order to prevent players from losing out on any items or mezzos that were stored in NPC, NPC Frederick was left in the game so the players could still retrieve those items after the free market's closure. Next up, the currently scheduled, we will be removing NPC Frederick from the Maplestory in order to better align the game environment with the current active systems. Any items or mezzos still being held by the NPC will subsequently be lost. You have retrieved all the items and mezzos prior to the update. Wait, who is NPC Frederick? And also, this was 13 hours ago, and now the game is down. So that notice came at 3 AM for EU people, and then the game is down by the time you get to your computer, and that means you lost everything? How do they only give a 13-hour notice? Is Frederick the... He was giving you the items that were in the free market? Oh, he was giving you the stuff if your hired merchant expired. He was the one who held all your stuff, right? Where you could pick your stuff up. Which, you know, if you guys played back in the day, usually you would never have to do that because you would reset your shop in time, but since the channels crash like once every 13 minutes, that was all the time actually. Okay, that was Frederick. I see. Okay, that makes sense that they get rid of that guy. Nate, congratulations on your eye patch. 60 int, 6% all-stat is a decent flame for now, but why would you flame it when you haven't Star Forced it yet? It's kind of cringe. Data sharing input, please check exclamation mark contribute, and please contribute numbers, BAs, where you train, how many monsters you kill, maybe a training video in high level areas that will help me determine more input for my grid. All of these inputs, very, very much appreciated. Thank you in advance for everyone. We already had like over 50 input points so far. Everything else, please, if you're going to put in what map you train in, also put in how many monsters you kill per hour. If you just put in your map but not how many monsters you kill, I can't really use that for anything. I appreciate the effort, but please go all the way. Okay. Okay, these were the patch notes. We can close this. The events are updated. Cool. And now that gets us to the actual full patch notes for Kain. Wow. 16 pages of cash up, of course, because it's a KMS patch. Alright, let's stop the music for now. We can play this. Oh, let's do the closed captions, baby. Hang on, let's get the English closed captions in there. English, because that always works perfectly fine. Go away. Yes. Jihan play. No. GM. Okay. Ooh. Edgy music.
그란디스의 도시 툴렌시티를 지배하고 있는 조직 드라카즈에서 무자비한 임무를
In such a
수행하던
DX,
카인. 어느 날 숨겨진
one
진실을
day,
마주하면서 잃어버린
confronting
과거를
the hidden
돌려받기
truth.
위한 싸움을 시작합니다.
Ooh.
카인은 노바 궁수로
Kain is a Nova
전문 무기인
munition.
브레스 슈터와 상처 입은 적을 처리하기 위한 근접 무기를 다루는데요. 아기가 담긴 화살을 발사해
Fires
적에게
arrows
죽음의
containing
축복을
babies to bless
빠르게
enemies with
접근해
death.
치명적인 일격을
Wait a minute. He fires arrows containing babies to bless enemies with death. Okay.
날립니다. 5차 전직 후 주변
Murder babies. Try using a powerful skill to destroy surroundings
주변을
area
초토화시키는
immediately.
강력한
After
스킬로
lane 5.
사용해보세요.
Oof. Oh, fifth job? Job 5? Ooh, wait, we can read that. Hang on. We need to test Go? Oh, Neo. Oh yeah, that's Neo. Yeah, that's Neo. Neo. What is that, a K? Castle? Neo Castle. Okay. We're good. I got it. Little slow.
네오캐슬의 축제가 더 재미있게
It's very
펼쳐집니다.
fun. I'll be the judge of that.
르네의 마법 오르골에 에르다를 모아 아름다운 연주를 듣고
Beautiful
가
training.
된 미니 게임을 즐기며 네오캐슬에서 즐거운 추억을
Oh,
만들어보세요.
our favorite mini games are back.
용사님의 투표로 뷰티 코디 어워즈 순위가
Beauty
정해졌습니다.
Cody Awards.
선정된 아이템은 1월
Wait, is this the
7일부터
Mbop?
2월 3일까지 캐시샵에서 만나볼 수 있는데요. 투표에 참여해주신 모든 용사님께 다시 한번
God, is this like Korean beauty standards? Everyone is just like everyone's looks like a fucking ghost, dude. Everyone's so pale, expressionless. Their faces look Botoxed up because it's like there's no wrinkles, no emotion, no character. Everyone's clothes are like,
다시 한번
look at these
감사드립니다.
outfits. Everything's so bland. Ugh.
패스파인더 출시를 맞이해 선물을 준비했습니다.
Maplestory M.
레벨에 따라 다양한 선물을 받을 수 있으니 꼭 참여해 보세요. 매주 일요일 썬데이 메이플도 잊지 마시고요. 새해가 밝았습니다.
Sunny Sundays.
2021년에는 언제나 건강하고
May 2021. Oh, May.
응원할게요. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Right, cool. Kain is in there. Creatures maps do get burning, runes, and everything. Yeah. And they also have a lot of monsters. The problem is that they don't give a lot of experience per monster. But there are a lot of monsters. If you're farming for certain items, or you have to kill monsters near your level, or that kind of stuff, then creatures maps are actually pretty good. Also because they're all open, no one goes there. Alright, Maplestory Neo memes. Oh, another epic video. Oh, we heard this one already, right? Nice. Shapes artist Kain. Contrary to popular belief, he does not walk with a cane. He actually uses some kind of mini crossbow thing. A breath shooter. Oh. One-handed weapon, and his weapon a belt. His tool of weapons, because he doesn't only use this, he also, like... He's basically Batman. He's Batman with an arm crossbow. That's what he is. Oh, wait, another cinematic. Damn, we've got a lot of these. Oh, edgy. Is that the guy from his past? The person... Oh, no, the person from his past? Oh, could be a guy still. Don't know, I'm not gonna judge. Not gonna assume. It's probably a dude, and at this point, I've seen enough anime to not be deceived anymore. See, he does have a sword, guys. He does have blades. Da 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 da. Oh my god, he got wood plank no jutsu, dude. Okay. And another one. What is this? They also put a combat style video showing off some of the gameplay. Okay. Whoa, 60 FPS. What is this? Let's start by showing off the gameplay by going to the highest level area that's available in GMS first. How many times do you think you had to try to be able to do that full key down skill without getting hit by anything falling from the sky to make it look good in a gloom fight? This is a decent amount of lines, looks like. And then the... Interesting. Alright. So... Legion is just Dex. And then the link skill will probably get to as one of the first things. That's what the area looks like. We already listened to all of these songs. We can bop to this one a little bit more. NPCs. Early 2000s AMV. Except it didn't have Diary of Jane in the background or any Linkin Park. Warning, possible spoilers right below this, guys. Avert your eyes if you don't want to get spoiled by the choker of destiny. Oof, storyline. He's got his debit card out. Don't get spoiled, guys. Oof, spooky. Hey, we've seen this picture before, but with two other people. Okay, some of the monsters, I stand by my earlier judgment. I feel like these monsters lack some detail. Maybe they'll explain it in the lore, but like this one is okay. I think it's got like a little bit of texture, a little bit of color, a little bit of gradient, a little bit of, you know. But this one, his head is just like one blob of color. These guys, I mean, they added like a little detail on his shoulder here, but these need a little bit more detail in my opinion. Okay, so the link skill is they severely reduce like how many times you have to hit a boss to trigger it. So when you kill 8 enemies or hit a boss 5 times, complete 1 preparation. When you have 5 preparations, your damage is increased by at level 2 by 17% for 20 seconds with a cooldown of 40. Of course, buff duration does help this. It's just like an even chunkier thief skill, I guess. But in the same way, it's worse for people who have very stable DPM and they still want the Kana Link skill instead. But of course, KMS doesn't have the Kana Link, so they don't have to compare to that one. Or then they don't have to compare to the Beast Tamer either, right? They don't have either any of those. It's better than Thief Link if you really look at the numbers, but Thief Link is just debuff and it triggers. This one is build preparation, so you do have to, like, the cooldown is 40 seconds. I'm pretty sure that after the 40 seconds, then you have to hit the boss 25 times. But most classes will hit the boss 25 times, like in a matter of second, probably. Probably 3 more hours. B25. What up, Coach? How you doing? I like the slow pace of the song. Kind of shows some desperation and some suffering, you know. Okay, they've got their revamped skill. They've got their Nova Echo, basically. First job. So first job is going to be 70% damage 5 times and up to 4 enemies. And with fragments, dealing 55% damage 5 times and up to 3 enemies not hit by the strike arrow. So for the people who played back in 2005 and stuff, this would be like a 4th job skill when 4th job didn't even exist yet, you know? But this is like your standard level 1 basic attack. Gonna get some Celis music. I don't know if somebody made a playlist of that already. Maybe they'll play back to back. No, they won't play back to back. The next song is already going to be something else. I don't know if anyone made a playlist of that. This one? Oh, maybe this one. There you go, found it. When used, sometimes the uncontrollable malice effect will manifest as a special form, and then you get the dragon duder. So Shadow Step is going to be your major teleport relocation skill. It has a cooldown, but there's a bunch of other skills that can reset its cooldown. So cycling out your attacks properly to make sure that you keep uptime on this is going to be important, especially when bossing and repositioning. While moving, you'll be in dark sight, avoiding enemy attacks. When a skill is used on the ground in the left or right directions, you can use the skill again to instantly stop. So it's like a dash kind of thing, but you can stop mid-dash. Grappling Wire is like very much like Kadena grappling hook. It allows you to wire to a platform and then whoop, get jumped up there. This is your flash jump. Hitman, you know, just a basic first job. Slight boosting skill, giving you 40 attack, 35% crit rate, 50% stance, 15% max HP, 200 defense, and 15% damage reduction at level 10. Move faster and more covertly. 25% avoid, 20 speed, 20 max speed, and 10 jump. So you're gonna be like jet movement speed, I'm guessing. This is just the first job, just jumping around. I don't know why he's showing his equips when there's nothing on it. Maybe to show that there is nothing on it. So you see that the vertical hitbox of the attacks is a little bit bigger than the image, but not that much. Oh, he's going to use the chain here. Okay. I mean, he is a Nova character after all, so that kind of makes sense. They all have some kind of rope lifty stuff. That was the flash jump. The rest are passives. So I guess he's just going to jump around and attack a little bit more. There's a weird thing when he attacks and then jumps forward. It's almost like the attack like shows up behind him a little bit. Are you guys seeing that? See, like the attack, I guess it makes sense, right? The attack shows up where he uses it rather than moving with his character. I guess that's probably better, right? Because that's what I was advocating for yesterday. And just the chain and everything. Okay. So second job, this is when you get that big, because you don't really use it in first job at all. This is when you get your gauge that you can start gaining malice with. Possession. Realize your abilities and become able to control the part of the devil dragon Satyrus' powers. Ooh. So you can build up for a malice stone, which is one of those little doodles on the side. I think it's when the thing in the middle fills up, you charge one stone and then you start again. And then you can consume one of the malice stones to go into possession mode, and then when you're in possession mode, you can use a possess skill, which is just the possess form of an existing skill. And then once you use one skill, you'll go back to regular mode. And I think there's a cooldown to how quickly you can go back in. So you basically just use it to cycle attacks in. It's not like with Arc that you just transform and then you're transformed for a while. It's more like basically you just go like into an empowered state, you use one skill, and then the empowered state goes away again. So you at level 1, it creates 10 malice every few seconds. I think it's a passive, so it stays level 1, yeah. You create 13 malice when you use when a breath shooter's skill hits an enemy, and then when you have 100, you get 1 stone, and you can hold up to 2 stones at a time at this level, and then later the other ones will get used. I think 3rd and 4th job you gain 1, or the ability to charge an extra 1. When you use a skill, you consume 1 stone to enter possession mode for 15 seconds. Well, it has a 0.3 second cooldown, so you could save up and then just boost 4 skills in a row with the higher level ones. For during your burst, they'll probably be how you burst the best, I would assume. And let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, the Dragon Fang, they changed this one a lot. The little orbs flying around and hitting, they changed how far they hit and how many and how often they hit, basically on all of it. But basically it's a 40-second summon, and then one of those balls will be flying around your character. And when you hit something, they go into attack mode, they activate the Dragon Bite, and they track enemies, and they deal 100% damage 4 times. And then they will do up to 7 bites, and then they will return next to you until they get summoned again for another 40 seconds. There's a 3-second attack mode activation cooldown, so they can just like... They don't go brrr, not very much. And the damage is increased by 50% on normal monsters, so it's way more... it's going to be way more likely, because this is like one of the after image effects that you have, right, that will kill monsters for you around the map. So this will be way more likely to be able to help you one-shot when you're mobbing in higher level areas, where it becomes relevant to increase your rates, but it won't necessarily give you like insane extra bossing DPS, because 50% damage is quite a bit, of course. Strike Arrow 2, so it's your main attack skill, just empowered a little bit more. So it's basically just, you know, empowered mode of the first one. Looks a little bit different effect. And then this is the possess form, so this is when you go into the possession state and you activate the same skill. It'll look a bit different. It'll just hit differently, you know. Scattering Shot is a new skill. Wait. The picture is always above the skill name, right? So this is the empowered form, and then this is the Scattering Shot. Where you can see little arrows going like, whee, going like all over the place. And this is the possession form with a little foggy dragon coming out of there. But there is a repossess cooldown, so you can't just have the stacks and then just bam 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 use it multiple times. You'll have to cycle between multiple possess skills to be that you use. You don't want to. Can't use all of them at the same time. Hey, I need your help. What's up, dude? And then this is the booster, probably. It looks like it would be a booster, right? Increases attack speed. It doesn't say by by 2 stages. Okay, that's good to know. Mastery 50% for the attack, 60 dex. It's so weird how there's like a 40 attack in your mastery, and then there's this whole separate skill that just gives you 60 dex. Like, doesn't even remotely compare, but okay. Okay, let's look at second job, hopping around a little bit. Yep, we just saw those. Where's his, oh, here it is. I'm blind. Okay. So you see he's filling it up, hitting things with it, filling it up. He's leveling up, bam. And now he has 2 of those crystals, which is the highest he can get. And then this bar can fill up, I think, all the way, but it won't give him any more crystal. That's a little red ball. That's like searching for targets, hitting it. I thought it had a 3-second cooldown of hitting, but it seems to hit way more than once per 3 seconds. So you see now it's fully filled up. He can't build another one. So now that was when it twirled. So when it twirled, he went into possession mode and he consumed one of the rocks, right? But because his bar was full, as soon as he activated it, bam, it immediately filled up some energy and filled up another rock. So it kind of looks like it didn't consume anything. So you have 2 available stones, but technically you have 3. Right? Because as soon as you use it, boom, and then you can use another one. And then right after this, he could use another one if he wanted. So you can technically use 3. So if you have 4 stones, you kind of have 5 as long as you use it when the bar is completely filled. You see there's up to 3 of those little balls flying around. There's 2 of them activated right now. You think I'll ever get married? In real life? I'm gonna have to put work in for that. So at the current rate, no. I mean, getting married or anything is not like a goal. If it happens, it happens. But like, I wouldn't want to be single for the rest of my life. If that's what you mean. But at this rate, I will be. I'm streaming too much for you guys. Yeah, I'll come to Nate's wedding. I mean, provided it's all safe and stuff. And it's all legal and allowed for me to go over there. Okay, so that's the other scatter shot skill. Scatter shot had cooldown or no? Oh, prepare 1 scattering shot cartridge every 6 seconds, and you can hold up to 3 cartridges at a time. Yeah. So you can bop around and spam it, or spam it, and use it 3 times if you want to, but you won't be able to just like spam it willy-nilly. Right, and it just, yeah, okay, it just throws around some of those guys, and so it's probably more useful in a, when you have maps that are parallel, but they're a little bit further away, or you have like a three map platform, you're not really going to be able to use your main attacking skill to hit multiple platforms. Maybe the top, maybe just 2, the one above you and the one you're on. But then you'll be able, once you jump and kill above you and right where you are, and then use a scattering shot, the arrows will go down, or the little dragon balls, whatever they are, will go down and then hit the monsters below you. So you're basically extending your hitbox without having to move up and down. What's my exact height? I really don't know. It's not something I care about. Like in the Netherlands, they have your height is on your ID card or on your passport, but in Belgium, that's not a thing that we like measure. And I haven't been to a doctor in like forever because I'm the pinnacle of health, the pinnacle of gamer health. Okay, I'm on that gamer diet. I got all my sunlight from my 3 monitors. What do I need to go to see a doctor for? Okay, so Strike Arrow 3, empowered version once more, looking edgier and edgier. Death Blessing, that's probably the dead babies coming into play here. Give the blessing of death to enemies exposed to malice. When specific possessed skills and Thanatos Descent's area of death hit an enemy, they receive the blessing. When they're hit by an execute skill, the blessing, and those are I think the purple skills that we'll get into in a little bit. The blessing is materialized and they're destroyed from the inside. Ooh-wee. So whenever you receive merit, which enhances death blessing and execute skills, and shadow steps cooldown is reset. Remember that's like that big dash skill that gives you dark side. Death blessing deals damage to enemies using damage ignore and damage reflect. Of course it does. Why not just remove damage ignore and damage reflect, you say? Great question. I have the same one. So we are looking at 90-second duration stacks up to 15 times. Materialized blessing consumes 1 death blessing stack to deal 140% damage 10 times and acquire the merit buff. Merit buff for 5 seconds, death blessing and execute skills final damage is increased by 10% and create 10 malice when an execute skill hits an enemy and materializes the blessing. So it's mainly just for bossing, right? Because on regular monsters, you're just going to die too quickly for it to be relevant, I guess. I mean, you can kind of see it. I guess you will keep building up the stacks, though, so you can kind of see it as the Adele stack system. But it's not stacking up to 3 times on you, only up to once. But you want to keep the merit buff up, I guess, so that Death Blessing and Execute skills all have 10% extra final damage, and that you build your Malice a little bit faster with Execute skills. Okay, suddenly his little arm crossbow grew extra wings. Fire an arrow that pierces through enemies, then collapses shaft break. Please rename that. Oof. I've got bad memories for that combination of words. Ugh. Before it collapses, the arrow pulls in enemies. It collapses after it pierces through the number of enemies. Attacks a boss monster. Oh yeah, so this pulls in enemies. Yeah, so you just like shoot somewhere and then all the enemies go together and then explode. It's very similar to the gust charge bullet from Arc, where after it fires, it like sucks everything in and then bam, explodes it. Which is, you know, you don't really specifically use it for that purpose, but it just ends up killing more monsters, so that's nice. 180, 33. Man, collapses, pulls 7 enemies, then explodes. 140% damage, 10 times on 10 enemies. We're in third job right now, right? Yeah, this is third job skill. Like these numbers, 140% damage, 10 times on 10 enemies. Like these would be like fifth job numbers, I feel. I mean, maybe the 140 would be like 300, but you know, boost notes can do that. Prepare 1 shaft break cartridge every 8 seconds. You can hold up to 3 at a time. Okay. So I guess if you're mobbing, you cycle between everything. If you're bossing, you just hold on. And then whenever you're bursting, you just pop all the big shit. But this one, I guess, wouldn't be too important to use on bossing. Only when you're actually in third job or like early fourth job or something. But not when you're like fifth job doing harder bosses. Possess shaft break. Now this one might be better. And you will need a cartridge for this as well, right? Dealing 220% damage 10 times and up to 10 enemies. It's quite a bit stronger. Almost double the damage. Has a repossess cooldown of 11 seconds and does a tornado afterwards. That deals 40% damage 3 times up to 10 enemies continuously. For I don't know how long. It doesn't say for how many seconds. But it looks like at least 2 seconds, at least. Will the possession break my shaft, or will breaking my shaft possess someone? Well, you might temporarily be possessing someone. You might be in someone for a little bit. In their mind, of course. Execute. Yeah, so here are your purple skills. Execute. So basically, execute skills are not used don't use your actual weapon, but use your tool belt. But so this is Phantom Blade. Quickly cut enemies. 155% damage 6 times. I'm up to 4 enemies. With a possess. Oh no, that's not a possess. Sorry, that's tearing knife. Ooh, stab enemies with a sharp dagger. If execute tearing knife kills an enemy, Shadow Step's cooldown is reset. So anything? Wait, so if you can one-shot monsters with this. But this has a 4.5 second cooldown, right? Okay. But you could use this one to really dance around the map then, if you're mobbing. Interesting combination, okay. I wonder if this is magnified or if this is like the real size of the sprite, because this is a lot. But the fourth job seems to be when the class really starts coming hard online. Remain instance. Oh yeah, we looked at this one. So gather and crystallize the manifested malice. If Kain's own attacking skills hit an enemy near a created crystal, so one of these bad boys. Then it will attack nearby enemies like this. If it hits an enemy using damage reflect, you will not take damage. When you use the skill, the effect will be activated. Amazing. So this is what they mean by this is that it's a toggle. All right, you can choose to turn it on or off. When possess skill or Thanatos descent area of death is activated, create crystals for 10 seconds. The number created changes depending on the used skill. When activated, each crystal will deal 90% damage 4 times on one enemy. Damage is increased by 100% on normal monsters. So you really see a lot of the kit is dealing extra damage to normal monsters to make sure that people can level quickly and get to high levels where they can fight harder bosses quickly. But then the bosses might feel, compared to other classes at least, disproportionately a bit harder because it's not as easy to just brain dead, spam everything, and execute is going to kill everything, and right? So that you're not going to get the same utility out of your skills, plus you're going to lose a lot of the damage numbers. But of course, a lot of the bosses that we do kill, especially later on, have boss multiplier in damage because of arcane power. So that really comes into play for like compensating us for that number of damage lost. But when you're mobbing, you'll see huge numbers, of course. We just organ stack. New player to Maple, what class you recommend to use as a main? Yeah, if you check the command that Smiley put in the chat, there's a bunch of good information there that will get you started if you're going to be playing on Reboot. That's where I play, so that's where most, if not all of my advice would be for people trying to play on Reboot. If I get no joy but no harm in return, should I reconsider my choices? I would at least consider more options, because there could be something else that gives you very minimal harm but way more joy that you might end up finding more of a net use of your game. Not necessarily reconsider, but I would look around a little bit. Yeah, shop around a bit. Try some other stuff and see if you get similar returns or maybe better. Yeah. Recreation cooldown 0.3 seconds for those extra crystals. Natural Born Instinct, another balanced passive skill that will just make you a little bit stronger, giving you 20% final damage, 40 attack, 20% critical rate, 10% defense ignore, 30 status resistance, and 30% elemental resistance. You know, as you would. And then grinding, sharpen, and polish yourself. Polish yourself, okay. 20% max MP, 20% defense, and then percent point increases for a bunch of other skills. And then we have the fourth job. Wait, was that all third job? Wait, that was all third job? Wait, how many skills do you get in third job? Okay, that was more than I thought. Okay, never mind. I thought that was already fourth job. Okay, this is all still third job. Now we go fourth job. Now we go hard. So now you get Malice created every few seconds instead of, what was it, 13 here? Oh, when it hits a monster. Oh, create 10 Malice every few seconds. So that goes from 10 up to 20. Some more passive Malice build. Malice created when a breath shooter hits the enemy from 13 to 18, and maximum number of Malice stones increased to 4. But remember, you can still build up the middle when you have 4. So it functionally pretty much goes up to 5, because if you have 4, you hit something, you basically get the 4th one back immediately. After you break your shaft, you can polish yourself. Well, you don't want to be polishing the shaft after you break it. You probably just don't want anywhere near it for like forever. Advanced Death Blessing. Through deeper malice, enhance the blessing of death and make enemies' death and fear into your own strength. Oh, damn. Fuck, you're going full Death Eater here. No, not Death Eater. The fucking, what's the guys in the cloaks with the, who get power from your fear if they suck the soul out of you. What's the word I'm looking for? The floaty. Dementors, that's the one. Nate even forgot the name. Nate, you need to rewatch the movies. Date night with Kevin. Rewatch the Harry Potter movies. Harry Potter? Rewatch the Harry Potter movies. Books are greater than the movies? Yeah, but books take longer to reconsume. That's why movies will always be the more mainstream medium over books, because you can do movies faster. When is the game going to be up? When the patch is done. Estimation is in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Recovers 5% max HP when you kill 50 enemies. When the Death Blessing is materialized on boss monsters, recover 3% max HP. Materialized Blessing damage is increased by 135% points. Is increased by 135% points, or is increased to 135% points? That's decent. Nice Nate imitation. Merit buff, that's basic skills, final damage boost increased by 5% points. Malice created when an execute skill hits an enemy is materialized, the blessing is increased by 2. So instead of 10% final damage, it's going to be 15% final damage. Ooh. Guess what dropped for me last night? What did you get? What? Damn! Yo, congrats, man. Dude, I always love that high tier magic attack for some reason. That shit, that just always happens, doesn't it? Man, nice. Now you got your weapon and you didn't even have to... Man, you hit that curve, JHK, you hit that curve exactly. Like, you started playing at the right time. You had the right... You had the correct line, the correct speed of training and stuff, so you could roll into hard bosses at the opportune time. The drop rate up, and now you actually feel like it's worth to do these bosses because you got some value out of it. Not me, who spent the first year and a half running on 2 characters, getting absolutely nothing from these bosses, and just completely jaded on them actually being purposeful to do. Happy that you have a much more positive experience with that whole piece of the content than me. Well, I wasn't specifically imitating Nate because I don't think Nate says Harry Potter. I think he says Potter. I think he says. But it's like different areas in the UK will butcher it more or less. What boss drops arcane weapons? Right now, Hard Will and Hard Lucid do. But in the future, with the Neo update, we will also see Chaos Gloom, Hard Darknell, Varys Hilla, and the Black Mage all dropping them as well. Alright, so we have Falling Dust, looking a little bit more edgy than what we even thought was possible. Jump high and fire shockwave arrows downward. The arrow will move a certain distance, then activate a shockwave attacking nearby enemies. Excuse me. If this skill is used in the air, it can be used without jumping. Yeah, because you just need a certain amount of height, and then that's it. Okay. Consumes 95 MP, deals 410% damage 8 times and up to 12 enemies between... prepare 1 cartridge every 10 seconds, and you can hold up to 2 at a time. Oh, and then if you possess... The after image is like a dragon roaring... Okay, this is like a really cool looking skill. Like the way it materializes and dematerializes, and the way it's... You can very clearly see it's a dragon, and like with the... as the skills get stronger, it's all... Like the dragon image has always been there, but it gets more and more... It takes more and more form, right? And like with this as well, like in the end, you can see the eyes gleam, you can see like the... You can see like the shape... you can identify like the shape of the face, so... It gets more and more dark and gritty, I guess. After shockwave is activated, giant malice strikes the enemy once more. Only the shockwave will inflict death blessing on enemies. If the malice hits an enemy using damage reflect, you will not take damage. The malice erupts, dealing 240% damage 15 times on 15 enemies. So that's like a big old boy. But that's a 14-second repossess cooldown, so that's pretty long. Okay. That's what she said. Execute skill chain sickle. Throw a sickle connected to a chain forward. After a swing, you just swing and then smash like that. 200% damage 6 times up to 5 enemies. Then activates the final strike, dealing 200% damage 12 times up to 5 enemies with a 7-second cooldown. But it's an execute skill. I believe execute skill means that if it kills a monster, that your shadow step cooldown resets. Execution Poison Needle, also execute skill, but that's like all the purple ones. Oh, that's blurring. Cut enemies, and basically you throw out poison daggers, I believe. Deals 235% damage 8 times and up to 6 enemies. After that, perform a continuous attack. Well, which will be this one, okay. Dealing 190% damage 8 times and up to 6 enemies. And enemies hit by the consecutive attack will be inflicted with the DOT, dealing 290% damage every second for 12 seconds. That's not. It's only one line, so that's not an insane amount of damage, but it will count as a debuff, so that helps you with Kadena Link skill and that, and the Thieves Blessing, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it's a cooldown of 15 seconds. And we have Dragon Scale. I believe this is the iframe. That's very similar to the Arc iframe, if I'm not mistaken. Create a shield that excludes all life except yourself. And negates attacks with malice. When this skill is used, negates attacks with malice. When this skill is used, become invincible. If you hold the key down, you will remain invincible for a certain period of time. You can move during it. This skill is not affected by cooldown resets. Consumes 8% max MP per second. Maximum cooldown time of 3.4 seconds. Cooldown of 40 seconds. Passive effect 30% of void rate. Oh, but it consumes MP instead of HP for Arc. But Arc goes up to 5 seconds. This is up to 3.4. But Arc starts with 60 seconds and goes down to 48 with a Hyper. And this one starts at 40 seconds. So it's a 40-second iframe with a max keydown of 3.4. So that's pretty good. But it's the 4th job, which is probably more balanced than Arc's 3rd job iframe. Okay, then we have our Maple Warrior. Then we have our Hero's Will. Then we have Grinding 2, which is just like all the new skills, basically just empowers all of your skills. It gives you 30 attack and just makes everything stronger. So that probably means that passive skills +1 is probably going to look really good for this class as well, I'm guessing. Especially because they also have Dogma, another balanced skill that gives you 20% final damage, 20% critical damage, and 30% defense ignore. You know, as you just casually would get from a passive 4th job skill. And then our Mastery goes up, and you get a cool 70%. But wait, there's more. There's also another 30% final damage, 30 attack, and 20% critical damage. Okay. And then, you know, why stop at 2 when you can have a 3rd passive that empowers everything with 10% damage, 10% boss damage, 20% max HP, and 50% damage reduction. So, will they need... They don't need attack speed +1, do they? They start... Wait, someone said they start with 4? Their booster gives 2. And then you have decent speed infusion green pot, and you're at 0, right? You don't need anything else, so you're probably looking at passive attack speed +1. Your passive, all passive skills +1. No, all skill levels +1 only goes up to the max, and the way that it works for pretty much every class now is that everyone can max everything. Really, the only character in the game where all skill levels +1 or +2 is a thing is for Beast Tamers, because they have access to so many modes that they can't max everything out without relying on that. And even with relying on it, I don't think they can max everything. They can get pretty high at everything, but they can't max everything. Yeah, I'm guessing, and since they're archer vicious shots, so I think the attacks, you will have all passive skills +1, then 20% 20% crit rate, and then either 10% to boss or 9% damage to monsters who've been debuffed. Because I think because of the poison and because of the other stuff that we have, you'll pretty much have them debuffed all the time. That's gonna be my guess for like best in slot ability. Hyper skills, they have a 15% IED on breath shooter skills. 10% damage on breath shooter skills. That's weird. Usually these are 20% ones. And then we have 15% boss damage ones, which is usually also 20. And then the IED is usually Okay, execute skills, defense ignore increased by 25. That's a nicer chunk. Execute reinforced, 20% damage on those. And then execute enhance when Death's Blessing's final damage boost effect is active. Wait, Death Blessing's final damage boost effect is active. Doesn't that have a name? Isn't there like the simpler name for it? Maintenance has been almost 4 hours now. Wait, sorry, almost 3 hours now. Started at 2, it's almost 5. God, where's the names? They're giving like 2. The merit buff, isn't that? Consume 1 Death Blessing stack to gain the merit buff. Death Blessing execute skills final damage is increased by 10%. Isn't that the merit buff? Isn't that what that is? Isn't that Death Blessing's final damage boost effect? Isn't that the merit buff? Or is that a different effect? You cannot be knocked back by any attack while using execute skills. Oh, that's a very archy thing as well. So if you're cycling between your skills well enough to hold on to that buff at a very high uptime, and you have this hyper, then basically every time you use any of the execute skills, you can become knocked. I assume they mean knocked down and not knocked back. Because if this is just knocked back immunity, then it's dog shit. Because you could just get the Mihail Link skill. I assume that this is knocked down, right? Which is a very important distinctive difference, because those are two different effects in the game. So knock back is just like bumping into a boss or whatever, or getting hit by any attack, right? Knock down is like the blue swipe for Magnus, the push attack by Lotus, the swipe and push by Will, those kind of attacks, right? It's very different, of course, whether you can use this to immune getting pushed off of a platform during Lotus, or where it just means that you can walk into Papalatus without getting knocked into one of those little clocks on the ground. Rain Instance damage is increased by 50%. Dragon Fang range. Dragon Fang's enemy attacking range is increased by 10%. That might be good. You don't want the Dragon Fang balls to attack too close near you if you already have like a pretty big range of attack, because then you're just like casting each other, right? You want the fangs to fly out further. I don't know if 10% is enough though. We'll probably have to see some testing with that. Dragon Scale extra healing when using Dragon Scale recovers 7% max HP per second. Since we have familiars, this is probably not going to be relevant for us at all. If this is knocked down, then we're probably looking at like boosting all of these except for the 10% on breath shooters. 10% is a little low, so probably looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. I don't think there's going to be too much merit in these three. Don't think so, but we'll have to see. And then the other hyper, chasing shot. Fire arrows that track enemies and attack them. Skill is not affected by attack speed increase. The skill cannot be used if there is no enemy to track. So you can accidentally pop it and then have it go on 30-second cooldown. Fires 3 arrows that each deal 320% damage 6 times and up to 7 enemies. So that's kind of like a high-speed shot, I guess, as for the Marksman. A little bit. Oh, and this one is like charging my laser kind of vibe. Sneaky sniping. Oh yeah, we talked about this before. Not very sneaky if you see giant red lines going through the map. Focus your mind to secretly. No one can see this coming. Aim at enemies and snipe them. The more you hold the key down, the attack range will change. When the key is released, an invisible shockwave is activated. This skill is not affected by attack speed increases either. Key down duration max of 1.4 seconds. So this is like real time. It's pretty fast. Activate 5 shockwaves that each deal 175 damage 10 times and up to 12 enemies. Prepare 1 cartridge every 40 seconds, and you can hold up to 1 cartridge at a time. Yeah. And then this one can also get possessed. Possess slash execute sneaky sniping. Wait, how can you turn a skill into... I thought a skill inherently was either an execute skill or not. How do you have an execute form of it? Snipe enemies using arrows. Because it's 1 attack, 2 attack, 3 hypers, and then this is your 3rd hyper. Is Musk now the richest person? Really? Added more than 120 billion to his net worth in less than a year. Jesus. Jesus Christ, I'm just trying to read shit, bro. 2 weeks ago, he needs $20 billion. 2 weeks later, he's got the $20 billion. I think it activates off possession, but it will activate Death Blessing. Snipe enemies using arrows of condensed malice. The more you hold the key down and aim, the attack range will change. When the key is released, a giant arrow pierces through enemies, dealing deadly damage. If possessed, execute sneaky sniping kills an enemy. Shadow Death goes up as a reset. 1.6 seconds. Activate 5 shockwaves to deal 200% damage 12 times on 12 enemies with a 1 minute cooldown. So I guess what they mean is that if you use this in possess mode, it also becomes an execute. So there's like double utility to the skill. And then, you know, where everyone else gets a 10% damage buff, basically, Kain gets a completely different skill. What they get is become the incarnation of malice, granting others the ability to use Death Blessing. So other people can now Death Blessing for you. Skill is not affected by cooldown resets. If a party member's attack activates Death Blessing and hits an enemy using damage reflect, you will not take damage. But for 40 seconds, you increase your damage by 15%, attack by 15%, and stance by 50%. Death Blessing's number of hits is increased to 13, and party members attack near Kain hit an enemy. A Death Blessing aura is activated and deals 150% damage 6 times with a reactivation cooldown of 3 seconds. So it's quite a different skill from everyone else's regular level 190 hyper. How to get totems? If you mean damaging totems, you can check exclamation mark Afterlands. Other than that, wait for exclamation mark Dark Lords of Darkness, or Dark Lords, I think it's just in the commands. If you're talking about the spawn increase totems, check exclamation mark Wild Totems for info on that. Wow, I do have a command for everything, don't I? 5th job. Possess Dragon Burst. So you can only use this in Possess. It's a big key down. Maximum key down duration of 5 seconds. Deals 880% damage 12 times and up to 12 enemies continuously. And it's a 5th job. That's at level 30. It's 880. Wow. It only goes up from 800% to 880 for leveling. Oh, no, sorry. That's for leveling it 5 times. Okay. So that's pretty nice. Level 30, you're looking at 880. The attack can be activated up to 15 times. When all of the attack activations are used, so it attacks 3 times per second for a total of maximum 15 times. So it's 15... How many lines are we looking at? 15 times 12, that's 180, times 880%. So looking at 158,400%. That's not bad. That's close to the... That's like 3... that's more than 3/4. That's like 80% of the internally hungry beast, roughly. This is a big number, though, so that this might get like scaled down, and then maybe the activations goes up to like 20 times or something to make sure that it doesn't cap too quickly and too easily for everyone. But we'll see, like, yeah, how Kain's do. When all of the attack activations are used, the skill will immediately end. You can change directions. Oh, you can change directions during this? Oh, that's also pretty nice. After changing directions, you can change again after 0.5 seconds. Huh, so if this effect is big enough, you could also use it as just like as a clearing skill on the map. Okay. Cooldown of 90 seconds. Okay, so that's kind of awkward when bossing in a party, but when soloing, it's fine. This is flashing an awful lot. Jesus. Execute Fatal Blitz. Move quickly to slash enemies in front of you. Blah, 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 blah. Consume 750 MP. Deals 660% damage 12 times on 8 enemies continuously for 2 seconds. The effect can be activated up to 14 times. When all of the attack activations are used, the skill will immediately end. Okay, so Yeah, okay. So there's like a cloud that stays for 2 seconds, and it can hit up to 14 times during those 2 seconds. And if it hits 14 before 2 seconds are over, then it just disappears. Also 90-second cooldown. So one thing that Kain doesn't have that pretty much every recent class has had is no bind, right? It's worse than Urkala's Wrath. Is that the 5th job burst for Mercedes? Is it worse? I don't know if it's worse. It's probably around the same. God, I don't know Ikara's Wrath numbers by heart. It might be comparable to Ikara's Wrath, actually. And then we have the big one with the shoots arrows out. The whole map changes. Thanatos Descent, where the big mean dragon comes down and crushes the entire map. So for 35 seconds increases your damage by 45% and stands by 50%. Malice created every few seconds is increased, which doesn't do anything. You're gonna have the Mihal link on this guy, but because you're an archer, they can't give you 100% stance because that would be broken or something, I guess. Malice created every few seconds is increased to 40. Malice created when a breath, a shooter has a skill, is increased to 35. So you build insane malice, so you're just constantly going to use possessed forms of all the skills. When your own attacking skills hit an enemy, fire 6 arrows of death, each dealing 715% damage 3 times. Damage is increased by 25% on normal monsters, reactivation cooldown 3 seconds. When a skill is reused, it will instantly end, creating an area of death which deals 1430% damage 15 times on 15 enemies continuously. You are invincible during the cast action of the area of death. So that's another iframe shit there. Galreth is a longer hold-down and higher cooldown, but its damage percentage is identical to the first. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess if you're party bossing, then it's better because it's easier to sync with everything. But if you're soloing, then technically this can be better, provided that you have short enough cooldown on your bind. But yeah, you're going to be reliant on your bind, right? On the Urdanova. Yeah, with the other one you can get the shadow clones with Mercedes. Yeah. Well, remember you have passives for this that will trigger as well, giving you a bunch of final damage. The final damage on this character is pretty big. So the final damage. So we have a 20%. Wait, so we have 1.2 times, and then we have 1 is passive, so that's going to go up with. If you have the 2 passive, it's going to go up 1.22, and then it's going to be 1.32, and then it's going to be 1.15 for the other skill. Yeah, so you're going to end up with 122% final damage. Which, that seems like a lot, but compared to a lot of other classes in the game, it's not like insane out there. But it's definitely a chunk. I mean, honestly, hero by itself, final damage is up to 450%, so I don't even know if it's that crazy, you know? The weird thing is going to be is that once if that ever happens, that, you know, the hard cap attack speed, the soft cap becomes the hard cap or something, and we have to go down in attack speed. Of course, yeah, some classes are going to take huge hits, but classes like Hero are just going to roll into like passives +1 and get so much extra final damage again from their fort job set that it's, I don't know how badly they're going to get hit. It's still going to be huge. It's higher than most classes aside from Hayato, Kadena, Hero. I think all of the Explorer Warriors have higher. I'm pretty sure also Paladin and Dark Knight can also go higher. Who else gets a lot of final damage? Does Hayato have more final damage because of the defense the defense conversion? Phantom? Yeah, Phantom can definitely steal up more final damage. That's also true. Oh, and Explorer mages during their Infinity, of course, will go much higher. Well, not... Yeah, well, much higher than 122, yeah. Infinity by itself will go over 100%. Grip of Agony is this boy. Sacrifice your enemy's agony to summon the Devil Dragon Satira's Hand of Suffering. Oh. If it hits an enemy using damage reflect, you will not take damage. Level 30. Passive effect is when you kill 30 enemies or hit a boss monster 25 times, harvest 1 agony. You can harvest up to 15. And then the active effect, you requires a minimum of 1, consumes all harvested agonies to summon the Hand of Suffering for 6 seconds, dealing 1045% damage 6 times on up to 12 enemies continuously. For every additional agony, the duration is increased by 1 second. So that means max of 15. And it starts with 6, so you can go up to 20-second duration of it just continuously dealing 1045% damage 6 times. With a 180-second cooldown. Dude, 180 seconds is such a dumb... Yeah, so you can't use it... well, you can't use it every domain, right? So that's fine. You just save it for domain. This seems like it will do a lot of damage. This is 6,000 damage continuously. Well, 6,000... What? 6,270%? Continuously for up to 20 seconds when it's capped up. That's going to be a lot. If that's not edgy, you don't know what is. Grip of Agony? Yeah. Someone posted 107 strength, 7% flame shoe on Reddit under NSFW. Yeah, I would put that under NSFW as well. Damn. Oh, thanks. Now I just have to look for the NSFW tag. Dude, I can't find anything. Is it under new? I'm such a boomer. Trying to go through Reddit is impossible for me. Okay, I click new and then nothing loads. Okay, I can't find it. What color tag is NSFW? Top rising? What is the difference between top and hot? Isn't it the same thing? Can't find it. Fuck up. Improvements and bug fixes. Short action is delayed from the rings. Seed is Oz rings. Luminous weapons of light darkness is on a cooldown. They can no longer acquire the maximum number of ritual swords when absolute kill hits an enemy. That's all the same. That's all the same. When you enter Cygnus or Magnus, you will now remain in your current channel instead of being moved to the etc. channel. Oh, thank you. GMS thanks you, KMS, for not moving us around the map unnecessarily and making us memory leak and crash. Thank you. In Will Phase 3, the poison patterns receive damage boost and final damage boost increased to 30%. Oh! Another 10% reduction. Oh, God. Wow. Instead of doubling your damage, it's now a 30% increase. 70% final damage reduction when poisoned. That is rough. Goodbye dreams of ever capping on the Demon Avenger. Yeah, liberating your weapon is going to be so much harder. Ugh. Attempt to liberate before... Wait, how long does it take to liberate? Right, like 6 months, right? You better get your clears in quick and start liberating. Pictures does square that if items dropped on the tentacle platforms, they would be moved to the corner of the map. Okay. None of these are probably very important. Chairs that change BGMs will no longer change the BGM for other characters. That's... I don't know why they do that. That's bad. So if you're level 200 and higher, you will see 3 numbers behind the comma for your EXP. I don't know why at 200. I can kind of see it. I can kind of see them doing it for over level 250, but at level 200 it feels a little bit unnecessary. Extra character slot. Some minor changes that you guys can look through if you want. Cash up stuff. Let's see. Here are the hairs and faces that were voted in. Oh, so people could vote which ones they wanted to have back. Is this basically like BTS? Is that... are these just all the 6 members of BTS? So no Kishi nerf. This is KMS patch notes. They don't have Kanas, so... Looks like everyone in Genesis. Yeah. I don't get how people are like... They buy the last look for like 60 or 70 bucks, whatever it is. And then, oh, there's a new look. Oh, now I have to have that one. And then they drop another 60 bucks. And then to me, everyone just looks the same always. I don't even notice it. But, you know, different priorities, I guess. Well, they already do that, Zivs. They have unit damage skins that do that for you. They show up KMB. Thousands, millions, billions. Winter Pet Welcome. You can buy some old pet sets, including the Toy World pets, the bear pets, and the baby dog pets. I don't think we've ever had these. Have we ever had these pets? Toy World pets? These bear pets and these... We may have had these dogs before. Maybe? But I don't even think we had these. I don't think we've had these. Anyone getting the doggos? They look kind of cute, I guess. We had the dogs? Oh, we had the bears? Really? Oh, yeah, see, that's how much I pay attention to NX. Not very much. Neo Castle. Very much not Walt Disney Castle, by the way. It's just your imagination if you think it looks the same. You're imagining things. So yeah, there's going to be a whole event. They're going to have 3 types of currency, 3 types of gems that you can gather with different limits per character for the first 2, the stones and the gems, and then the cores will be a limit per week that you will get from killing weekly bosses. I think you have to be able to clear up to hard will if on a weekly basis you want to be able to cap on the cores. So you have 6 months. Get to it. Let's get to it. Work on it. The Loon's Magic Orgel skill. Wait, Orgel? Isn't it... Orgel is a Dutch word. Isn't it organ? Oh, it's like a music box, though. Well, look at that. Damn! For 60 seconds, you will acquire 1 Neo Stone at a 100% chance when you kill an enemy, up to 20. There's also a certain chance for the Orgel to play an upbeat song, allowing you to acquire 3 Neo Stones at a 100% chance when you kill an enemy, up to 20. Wowie! Do, 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 do. Battle Reverse-y. Yeah, we already know how reverse works. Win 40, draw 20, lose 10. Ooh. And there's the stacking game. Blah, 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 blah. Based on your results, you get Neo Gems. Maplestory and Pathfinder Growth Support. Yeah, so you can get some stuff in. So if you play Pathfinder on M and you reach a certain level there, then you can get the stuff on the game. So there's a pet, a damage skin, a mount, and then a 17-star unique Absolap and Weapon box or 15-star unique Dominator box just for reaching 140 on Maple M. It's not horrible to get a Phagzolab. I think 140... I mean, I haven't played Maple M in a while, but I assume that getting 140 is like a piece of cake now that they reached the increased the level cap to 250. I would have to completely relearn that, but a lot of it is automatically. So if we get a fake zo for Maple M, I think a lot of people are going to be doing some Maple Emming on the side, getting some reward points while they're at it. And then they have the Sunday Maple, which seems that they do have the double acquisition rate and limit for stones and gems. So not for the cores. The cores are limited to bossing, to weekly bosses. So there's no double up on that, which makes sense. All right, so that's the